Hello and welcome to this episode, and in this episode we are discussing about the phases of creating a C program. So what are exactly the phases that we go through while creating a C program? Initially we used the IDE div C++, which made many things easy for us, which it had an editor inbuilt by default, which we would write the code on, and then we would go to the menu and click execute and compile and run, and then everything was done automatically for us. In this episode we are going to do everything manually by ourselves so that you can understand the phases that actually the div C++ goes through to create and run a C program. So the first thing that we have is our program. Our program is a very simple program. This program includes the stdio.h header, and then it has the main function and then one line of code, hello world. Basically, this is our program that we are going to create, and the first phase in creating this program is obviously writing the code or editing. So let's go and list down these phases on the board, and I will go through each one of them on my laptop one by one. So let me write down the phases of creating a program. The first phase is editing or creating a program. So the first phase is going to be editing, or we can say creating. So this is the program that we have, and this program is going to be saved in a file or being created in a file, and we will have the name of this file as first program.c. You know that all of our C programs, they have an extension of .c. That shows the computer that this is a C program and the content of this file is a C code. So let's go and create this program on my laptop, and we will continue with the next phase. So here we are on my laptop, and the first thing that we want to do is create the file that we are going to write the C program on that file. So let's go and create a simple txt file. So we want to go to here, a new txt file. The name of our program is going to be first program, and obviously the extension is going to be C. Or how we can do that is that we can also let's go maybe delete this file. Instead of that, we can go to Notepad directly, and then we are going to save this program, and the folder that I want to save is here in my C drive and the C program file. So I'm going to browse to that folder, C program, and the name of our file, first program, and the type of the file is going to be all files, and at the end of this part I'm going to add the .c. So let's go and save it, and now this first program.c is being created on my computer. So now I can add my code on top of this file, right? So I can write my code, include So here I am, and I have wrote my code on this file, and now you can see that why we use the IDEs, because writing the code on the IDE is much more interesting, because the IDE gives you all the color codes and it makes it easy for you to read the program. You can see that here writing the program in Notepad is quite boring, and it's not as readable as writing the code or reading the code from the div C++ IDE. Now our program is completed. Let's go and save this program, and now this program is saved in this file firstprogram.c. You can see that the size of this file is about 1 kbs, and that's it. The first phase of editing or creating our C program has been completed, and we will move to the next phase. So the next phase in creating the C program is the pre-processing phase. So let me write it down for you in here. Pre-processing phase. And you remember that in the previous episodes we discussed about the preprocessor directives. So this hash include stdio.h was a preprocessor directive, and we said that these are some directives or some commands for the preprocessor to do some specific actions or to take some specific actions, and these commands are specifically for the preprocessor, and the preprocessor is going to do some things with this program before we go to the next phase of the program, which is compiling the program. So this phase is called preprocessing, and now I'm going to go to my laptop and show you what does exactly preprocessing do. So here I am on my laptop, and I have opened the command prompt or the PowerShell. Both is possible for you. And here in the command prompt, I am in the directory. So my current directory is the directory where our program is located. So C program, and I'm using the GCC compiler to compile my first program.c to an executable. We will not discuss about this command, and we will discuss about this command a bit later on. But in here you can see that I have used some specific flags so that I can have the temporary files that are going to be created while compiling this program. So those temporary files are going to be files that are created at the pre-processing, linking, and assembly phases of a program. So let's go and execute this, and then you will be able to see that before the first program.exe is created, many other files are also created. So one of those files that we need is the first program.i, which is the file that has basically been created after the pre-processing has been completed on this file. So this file is the file that a preprocessor has done its job on this file, and it has given this file to the compilation process so that the next phases of compilation is going to happen on this file. So we are going to inspect this file. So let's go and open a notepad, and we are going to open this file in Notepad. And now you can see that this file has become very long after pre-processing. Let's go here at the end of this file. You can see that our program is basically here at the end of this file. But what is all these other things? This is basically the effect of hash include stdio.h. We included stdio.h header, and all of this other code has been created as the effect of including that header file. And we said that the printf function is basically coming from stdio.h header. You can see that we have all of the specifics of these functions in this header file. All of those specifics has been included in our file before continuing with the next phases of compiling and running this file. And also in this phase, our comments are being deleted by the preprocessor. So whatever comments that we might have in the program, they are being erased from the program, and the program is basically being provided to the next phase of the compiler clean of any comments that we might have in the program. So let's go and talk about the next phase on the board once again. So here we are on our board, and we have created our program And we have also completed the pre-processing phase on this file. The next phase that needs to be carried out on this file is going to be the compilation phase. So the third phase is going to be the compilation phase. So up until now we had this first program. So after the pre-processing, this first program.c became first program. So after the pre-processing phase, the first program.c file became the first program.i file. So this is the output of the pre-processing phase. The output of the compilation is going to be the first program.is file. So now in here we will have the first program. So what happens during this phase is that the file that we had from the output of the pre-processing, that file, which was basically in C programming language, it is going to be converted into assembly language. So the level of the language is going to be assembly language. So here in this is file, we are going to have assembly level code. So in here we are going to have an assembly level code, and it is also during the compilation phase where if there is any syntax error in the program, that is also going to be discovered in the compilation phase. So if there's any syntax file, the compiler is going to give us an error exactly during the compilation phase. So now let's go and inspect this phase on our laptop. So here I am on my laptop, and we have got the output of the compilation phase here in this first program.is file. Now let's go and open this file in Notepad. So I'm opening this file in Notepad, and as you can see that our program, our C program, has been converted into assembly language. You can see all of these commands are assembly level language commands. And this is the output of the compilation phase. Now let's go back to our board and discuss the next phase. So the next phase is going to be the assembling phase. So let me write it down for you. The fourth phase here is the assembling phase. In the assembling phase, the code that we have got from the program.is file, this code that was initially in the assembly level language, it is going to be converted into machine level language. So the output of this phase is going to be the first program.o. So here you have the first program.o file. But still in this phase, some things are still not going to be resolved, such as the printf function. The printf function is going to be resolved later on in the next phase. So here, let's go to our laptop and see the output of the first program.o file and see how this file looks, and we will be able to see that some things are still not resolved, such as this printf function. Now let's go and inspect the first program.o file. Let's open the Notepad and then open this file, and as you can see that the assembly level language has been converted into machine level language in this first program.o file. However, some things are still not resolved. For example, you can see that this printf is still not resolved. This main in here you can see still not resolved, and this is job of the next phase. So let's go and see the next phase on the board. So the next step is the linking phase. So let me write it down for you in here, the linking phase. Basically, linker is a special program that is going to take the first program.o file and it knows that this file has some gaps inside of it, such as this printf function that we have in here, and the linker is going to take the object code of printf, and it's going to replace this printf, which is not being resolved here in the first program.o file. It is going to resolve those functions with the object code of the things that hasn't been resolved. So finally, the output of the linker is going to be our executable program, and the executable program, you know that it will have a .exe extension. So let me write it down for you in here. The output of our program is going to be first program.exe file. And by now our program has been completed and the compilation process has totally been completed, and now we are ready to load and execute this program. So the next two phases is going to be the loading and executing of this program. So let me write down loading and 7 executing this program. So basically, in the loading phase, the file, the first program.exe file, which has been stored on the hard disk of our computer, it is going to be loaded in the memory or the RAM of the computer so that it can be executed. You know that every program that we want to execute it first needs to be loaded into RAM, and the loader, we have a special program in the operating system which is called the loader. It's going to load this program into memory, into the specific areas of memory for executing programs, and then finally this program is going to be executed using the processor of the computer, and whatever output that this program has to give to us, the output is going to be displayed for us on the screen. Now let's go and head to our computer and load and execute the program that we have created, the first program.exe file. So here we are on the computer, and as you can see that from the output of first program.o, we got a first program.exe file, which is basically the executable file that we can run on this program, or even we can copy and move this file to another program and another compatible platforms, and we can run this program and we can get the same exact output from our program. So how we can load this program and execute it? We go to the command prompt, and then in here for executing this program we need this prefix before writing the program name, first program.exe, but before that, for executing any program, we need to add a prefix dot backslash. That means that we are executing a program on this directory, first program.exe. Now enter, and you can see that the program was executed and we got the output of hello world. Now let's go and exit this console window. Instead, we are going to go into this first program.c file. We can open this using the notepad, or we can use any other IDE that we have. So let's go preferably open it in notepad. The first program.c, maybe we write down hello world for the second time. This is the changes that we brought to our file. We need to save it. Saving is very important. Then we exit this program, and then we are going to open the terminal in this directory, so you need to make sure that you are in the same directory as the program, and in here you can use the gcc command, which is the compiler command. To compile a file, we are going to provide the name of the file, first program.c, then we have the flag -o, which means we provide the name of the output file. The name of the output file is going to be first program.exe, and then execute, and now we have successfully compiled the changes in our program. Now if we want to run this program, first program.exe, you can see that we got the output of the changes in the program, hello world, for the second time. And that's it for this episode. See you in the coming episodes.